Welcome everyone. This will be my Penkin episode 4 video. So we will break it all down. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos and watch out for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. If you've been basking in Kristen Milioti's performance as a Sofia Falcon the last few weeks, this original story will be major highlight of the series. Santani makes the most of the show's secondary villain, flipping the script on Sofia's hangman origins in Tim Sale's Dark Victory comic, in which she is revealed to have killed high-profile members of the Gotham PD, to paint a portrait of a victim of cruel, conspiratorial world and her father's sin. With the exception of a table-setting opening, the episode comprises an extended flashback and ghoulish, downright delicious final act that plays like a souped-up Lifetime origin present-ploitation flick. It's an inspired style and format to deliver the straight facts on what happened to Sofia and what drove her to eventually annihilate her entire family. We start with the first incident in which she was forced to confront the murders for which she would soon be accused amidst her bloody innocent face of the family duties at another philanthropic event. A reporter confronts her about a series of murders of women who worked for business owned by her father. Sofia bolts from the conversation the second she realized she was talking to a journalist, Summer Gleason. The journalist works for the Gotham Gazette, which is the major newspaper in the city in both comic books and the wider Batman series. She is also a character in Batman, the animated series, who makes it her work mission to find out who the Batman really is, but not fast enough to dodge her loyal driver, who's witnessing the interaction, nor a flashback to when she walked in her mother's hanging dead body in her parents' bedroom. The next scene is an intimate family dinner for three: Carmine, Sofia and Alberto. It's also introduction to Mark Strong as a Carmine Falcon, a scheduling conflict sub-in for the Batman's John Turturro. Strong proves a welcome relief picture here, throwing some serious heat via his signature icy stare from behind the character's red frames. It is the right type of a menace for a believable mood boss who moonlights as a psycho lady killer. Had this been any other night, Sofia would have been elated at her father's offer to inherit the family business. But the reporter's questions not something loses Sofia's memory of her mother's death. Sofia asks her father for details. Was there ever a sign of her mother's depression before she took her own life? Did she ever seek help through therapy? Sofia doesn't buy Carmine's canned line that Sofia's mother was a proud woman. Besides, why would Sofia pick away at all at once when she knows it upsets him? Something about quietly frantic dismissal of the subject and the switch to authoritative posturing is enough to cement her suspicions. One more nighttime grubby overpass meeting with a reporter confirms that whoever strangled all those women had to have been in a position of elect power to cover his tracks. The police reports alleges suicide by hanging in all these cases, but the marks on their necks are clearly denote a strangled hands. Defensive wounds also indicate that these women were fighting an assailant at the time of their death. Sofia thinks back to her newly departed hanging mother's hands, her nails broken and bloody from a struggle. "And you don't know shit about my father, he's a good man," Sofia shouts unconvincingly before she and Oz drive away. Oz humbly advises against Sofia meeting the reporters again. As Sofia snaps back, "I don't need your advice, I don't care what you think, no one does. You are my driver, and that's all you are." A fatal mistake on Sofia's part, making Oz feel small when she would be the only person in the Falcon family to treat him like an equal. A momentary lapse of kindness is all it takes for Oz to sell out a friend, fair weather or otherwise, for a status upgrade. Later at the family party, Oz summons Sofia to talk to her father. Oz is wearing a flashy new suit. Our first tip of that he's already ratted her out to Carmine. As for Gotham's reigning godfather, is all, "How could you? And I trusted you, my number one boys of a daughters," and all that bullshit, just enough to make Sofia feel scolded and get her in the car home, where she would meet by the police arrest her for the murder of the reporter and all other women who worked for her fathers. Carmine's master plan becomes clear when Sofia's lawyers has her fixed sentence, 6 months in Arkham for psychological evaluation, then a trial. Carmine is claiming that Sofia has a history of mental illness, and everyone else in the family but Alberto has written affidavits suggesting the same. In his own daughters, he is found the perfect fall guy for his most murderous crimes, giving a diabolical double meaning to the moniker hangman. In Sofia's, their cousin, niece and family outcast, the Falcons have found an ideal candidate upon which to hang their complicity. Things go about as well as you expect for Sofia in creamiest of prison-ploitation version of Arkham Asylum. A horrific and degrading delusion montage gives way to an intro to the sadist Dr. Ventris and reluctant Dr. Rush. So Dr. Ventris has some potential comic book links. There is a character in the Batman comics called Floyd Ventris, who was a criminal who served time at Gotham State Penitentiary before taking on the villainous identity of Mirror Man. We are also introduced to Sofia Manic Pixie cell namer Magpie, who makes incredibly annoying use of the tiny hole in the wall between their cells. At her first meal in the cafeteria, Sofia is welcomed by ominous chant of hangman from the rest of the women in the room, followed by an all-out assault from the tall, unchained woman, blissed out her mind on her clinically administered dose of bliss. A woman beat the shit out of me while everyone stood around and watched. So yeah, I had an incident, is how she describes it to a Dr. Rush hours later. He shows genuine sympathy and seems to mean it when she says he has no other agenda than to help her. He may not actually be in on Carmine's conspiracy, but he knows something about the whole situation. Nevertheless, he offers up a rotten bit of doctory advice. Sofia sticks to her guns. She knows the woman who beat her up was uncuffed for a reason, and she knows he has been framed for murders of her own family. The mad doctors at Arkham Asylum never do end up breaking Sofia's spirit, nor do the Falcons succeed in shutting up their Falcon. Instead, they succeed in making the very monster that brings them all down. When a staged rematch between Sofia and the woman who beat her up ends in another woman repeatedly stabbing herself in the neck, presumably to end her own suffering as a Bliss guinea pig. Dr. Ventris subjects Sofia to repeat runs of an electroshock, triggering a series of hallucinations that burrow her deeper into an endless loop of her memories of her mother's death. When the time comes for her trial, Alberto visits with the news that Ventris has declared her unfit to stand. As all hope of escape from the plight of the hangmans is finally lost, Sofia snaps into her new friend psycho killer role, slamming Magpie's head into oblivion in the cafeteria. I told you I'm fucking innocent, she says for the last time. Magpie is another character who Sofia encounters in Arkham's. Is a Magpie, a DC supervillain who targeted jewels, first introduced in 1986, the Man of Steel's number 3. The character has been adversely to a Superman and Batman over the years. However, after she meets an ultimate end here, it seems her criminal days are over. Sofia wakes up from her extended flashback in Dr. Rush's house, where our girl realizes the full repercussions of trusting Oscorp despite their history. Backed into a corner, she realizes the best course of action is to flip the script on the whole family annihilator scenario and fortify herself from every enemy in one swift swing of the scythe. One can laud Melotti's effort enough in making Sofia's devilish speech at the Falcon family dinner table. Her unhinged death dealers command reverberates through the next scene as we follow Sofia through the Falcon House of Horrors. Each member of the family suffocated from the gas she rerouted through the house, all except her little cousin, Kia, who she kept with her overnight in the greenhouse, and Johnny Whitty, who happened to have slept with the window open. It's unclear whether Johnny's survival was part of the plan, but with the rest of the family so swiftly and violently out of the picture, there is nowhere for him to stand but Sofia's right hand. When one considers crime as the inevitable result of deprivation, misery, psychopathology, and social injustice, as a Pauline Kippel put it in her New Yorker review of Dirty Harry. Even the pulpiest American crime stories reveal volumes about the effect of crime on the American psyche. As the Penkin showrunner Lauren Lee Frank elaborates, they reflect back the world we live in, who we take care of and who we condemn. The hangman was the illusion of monster, created by a monster to absorb the fallout of his monstrous deeds, rather than remain the monster that her family made of her. Sofia mutates into a triumphant manifestation of her own wrath and the wrath of the women her father killed in Gotham City. You either die the victim or live long enough to see yourself become the criminal of the week. More on the comic book version of Sofia Falcone is written by Jeff Loeb and illustrated by Tim Sale in The Long Halloween and Dark Victory. Sofia enters the scene as a ruthless participant in the Falcone family machination. Despite her father Carmen's reluctance, she shows an insatiable desire to be part of the family business and seeks revenge for all threats to the Falcone empire. In Dark Victory, she is the actual hangman who does the actual hangman killings, the victims high-profile members of the Gotham PD, to avenge her father's death. Sofia's fierce ambition and lust for vengeance remains in the Penkin as a firm foundation upon which to build a mostly new characters and worthwhile excavation of the monstrous greed makes of all of us. Military has talked a lot in interviews for the show about fulfilling a childhood dream by playing a Batman villain, citing 1995's Batman Forever and The Beloved Batman, the animated series, as the text of her Bat Phantom. While there are simply too many instances of actors claiming to be lifelong fans of their IP, they are starring in for all of them to be legit. This one certainly bears out in the performance. Matching the tune of Joel Schumacher Batman movie with another Demi post-Joker villain rising project may sound like mismatch at first, but the whole show seems to be drinking from the same tonal cocktail anchored by Melody's command for the material. Even Farrell's performance feels augmented to human on the Sofia registers at this point. It was a fatal mistake on Sofia's part to make Oz feel small, when she would be the only person in the Falcone family to treat him like an equal. On one hand, it seems like a bit of a stretch that momentary lapse on kindness is all it would take for Oz to sell out of his only friend in the family, fair weather or otherwise. On the other, it does seem clear he thought the boss punishment for his only daughters would be minimal. Either way, there is something a foggy truncation of O's options and motivations here, which may require further clarification down the road if O's betrayal continues to be such a major emotional talking point. If you find any reference during the episode that I didn't talk about in this video, please write them down in the comments. Thank you.